Thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Whether you're in need of a website, domain or online store, make your next move with Squarespace. Polaroids have to be one of the most magical forms of photography. Seeing the image develop there right in front of you, turning into a tangible object, is pretty magical. It just doesn't get old. And I think it's one of the only forms of photography which has truly surpassed being for photographers. It has such an appeal outside to families, creating these cherished objects. And admittedly, Polaroids is something which I don't use anywhere near enough. But all of that's about to change. I just received this in the mail from Han Chen, an instax square back which attaches to my Mamiya RZ67. If you didn't know, in 2016 Fujifilm discontinued FP100C, which was a Polaroid film usable by medium format cameras. And it was such a good film. It was mainly used to test lighting setups, so you knew how your photos were going to come out once the film was developed. But it was also used by a bunch of people just as a stylistic choice, because it did look awesome. Now, I hadn't looked at buying this film in a few years, and I was so shocked to see that currently it's going for like £90 per 10 photos on eBay. So instead, for £40, I've spent my money on some instax square. I'm going to get 50 photos to take in this video and show off this cool Polaroid back for the RZ67, made from the guts of an instax square. And I guess we're going to see if it can come close to the glory days of FP100C. So I guess I should give you a demonstration of how it works. It's pretty simple. You just attach the back like a regular film back and go about using the camera as normal. I find that using it on the multiple exposure button helps, so the camera doesn't get confused whether it's advancing film or not. And then it's pretty simple. You compose your image, take a light meter reading, see if it's all okay, remove the dark slide, press the shutter, and then crank on the film. And out it comes. Simple. Something I didn't really anticipate with using Instax was the ISO. It's ISO 800, which is pretty high if you want to be shooting wide open in the day. And I guess that's what you're going to be wanting to do if you want to make the most of shooting on medium format, getting that medium format look. And I'd guess that Instax has been built to be 800 ISO because it's meant to be used with some rubbish plastic lens which is probably like f8 or f16 to try and get as much in focus as possible. It's not designed to be used with a professional camera. I guess you could get around this by using an ND filter, but this is something I haven't tried yet. On the flip side, it just makes it better for shooting in low light, like dusk or nighttime, which is something I recently tried out. I took this out at night and tried to take some long exposures, most of which came out awfully. However, there was one which went quite well, which was an 8-second exposure. And to be honest, I think this one came out pretty cool. I just want to let you know that the streams I've been doing, there's been 2 now, they seem to be going really well and you seem to enjoy them. I'm going to be trying to do them weekly for a little bit, see how it goes. And I think I'm going to do them on Sundays. Sundays, 4 PM UK time. That's the plan. So put it in your calendar, maybe turn on your thingies for the channel so you can see when it happens. And it'd be great to have you join. Next time on the stream, we're definitely going to be doing more reviewing of your photos. But I'm not afraid to switch it up, so let's see what the future has in store. Since I'm now reviewing stuff all the time, watch my live streams, and since I don't currently have a scanner, I thought I'd take you through a top-down view of some of my favourite Polaroids that I took. The first one is this bush. I just thought it looked really cool. You know, it's a bit abstract. It would be slightly better if this tiny bit of house hadn't crept in. But I'm pretty happy with this one. It's got a really nice texture to it and like the shadows kind of falling off. I like it. Next up, this one's been really hard to capture because it's so dark, but it's just a single like branch with thorns on. Pretty nifty. Then we got some portraits of my friend Dan. These ones came out really cool. I really like this one, how there's a separation between the lighter side of the corner of the wall and the darker side, and how he kind of pops the similar brightness of the bright side. Just a nice contrast, and it's just a nice photo. We've got another one which, this one kind of shows off the depth a bit more, which was one of the things which I thought was important to show off since you're shooting a medium format. Trying to shoot wide open is probably a good idea, and this one does it well. Then we've got another one where this one I did a low angle shot up into the sky, kind of making use of the waist level finder, and I think this one came out pretty cool as well. It was lucky not to blur out the sky too much and for it to really affect the rest of the image. The exposure kind of came out perfectly. And then we've got this one, which is probably the best example of the shallow depth of field. When you get up close to it, it probably isn't the sharpest photo in the world, but I guess what do you expect when it's only this big? But it looks pretty cool, it looks pretty otherworldly. And then we've got this tree structure, the bushcraft kind of stuff, which I was taking photos of recently. I went back to this one, which had been a bit destroyed by the wind recently, but I thought it might look better on medium format than it would have on 35mm, with a bit more separation from the background. And I think it came out pretty cool. This one was probably on the borderline of being a bit overexposed, but in the end, it developed out fine. And then we've got that night photo. This one came out really cool, I think. It's actually a pretty nice scene, and the way that the light really kind of like gradually fades out on this S-curve is quite pleasant. So this is probably the best one I took. So I can't lie, there are some clear limitations of using instax film. It's never going to be that sharp. It's not going to do justice of a medium format lens. And the dynamic range is pretty small. It's very easy to blur out a photo, and the overexposure really kind of bleeds out onto the frame. The limitations are definitely in the emulsion, not the camera or the back. And to me, I think the best usage of this back on a medium format camera is probably for portraits. Close-up portraits I think will come out really nice, because when you've got this soft instax film, it's kind of like a natural beauty filter, you know? It doesn't pick up too many blemishes in the skin, it just looks nice, and the kind of like soft look is very dreamlike. I think it would also look great for still lifes, and probably some atmospheric landscapes if sharpness isn't too important to you. To me, it's so cool that this product even exists. It's a true testament to like what the film community is possible of. It's taken so long for any of the big camera manufacturers to take any notice of what's going on with the resurgence of film. So to see some guy at home with a 3D printer making something which solves so many problems that so many people were asking for is really awesome. And it just makes me excited for these resources to become more available. 3D printers are getting cheaper by the year. I wonder what's going to be made next. It may seem like all of the film photography equipment is secondhand and used, and all the prices are going up because of the supply and demand and things breaking, but this gives me a bit of hope. You never know what could be on the horizon of being made. Also, I'm sorry this video didn't have like loads of footage of the behind the scenes of me shooting the photos, but it's been pretty hard to film in the UK at the moment. It's been raining pretty much non-stop, and when it's not, it's been freezing. And we've just gone into another lockdown, so it's a bit hard to work around, but hopefully you still enjoyed this video. And finally, I'd like to thank Squarespace again for sponsoring this video. Squarespace is an amazing all-in-one platform for everything to do with websites. Whether you're looking to purchase a new domain, maybe start a blog, an online store, or a website. Maybe it's a portfolio for your photography or just a site for any kind of business. Squarespace is the perfect place to do all of this and much more. There's an amazing variety of different themes to get you started, and you definitely don't need any prior web building experience to build a very professional looking website. In my opinion, having a photography portfolio is pretty much essential. It's the best way to show off your photos and attract clients and kind of do your work justice, display it in the way that you want to. Squarespace also has amazing customer support, so if you do happen to come into any trouble, they got you covered. So, new year, new you, new website. Go to Squarespace now and use code negative feedback and go and build yourself a lovely new website today.